Well, we already kind of finished our last two sets of series, and one more thing I come on here to show is that I kind of decided that when we came up with the cow and the donkey and other stuff for the Nativity, it kind of turned out that we would end up having 11 pieces, and I just kind of decided that 12 would be a better number for pieces to a nativity, and then I knew we were without an angel, so I had kind of had a piece of Buckeye that was shaped like this. I cut the scrap in half, came up with these two halves that are going to be an angel for each nativity. I decided before we carved them, I might come on here and demonstrate that we are sanding these pieces because they kind of have little uneven bottoms and kind of need a little sanding done to kind of make them so they're going to be a little straighter as all things. And oh, I say that this is going to be a little work to do, but we'll manage it out somehow, make it so it's going to be a little better to us in the long run, and see how we can kind of manage this well, make it so we're kind of seeing how little angels can make their way about us and see us for what they do when they're among us. They're among us in all things, and I say that this is just sometimes we kind of work about the things we're doing to come up with these little figures, and of all things I say, blessed work shall make its way to us. And you know, normally we'd sand something at the end after it's already carved, but these blanks I felt could use a little good sanding for just their kind of shape and way they are. And since Buckeye is a fairly soft wood, kind of could do it well, I say, and kind of put the angel where it stands up in a way. I think I finally got it evened out enough that it probably could, and just kind of got to do a little work along the very back as well, kind of get a little sanding done away with the little angel and with all its little workamadoo and all things. And this is just the way a little work comes in. If we don't take too long to sand while recording this video, we might even demonstrate a little drawing in of some lines that we might be carving around and get a little more extra work done in all we have and do. And then this little bit of work is just bright and dandy, coming down to where we're getting it along. I say this is just the way we work at this. Got a little underside of this thing to kind of make out as well, kind of make it so it's going to kind of stand firm and have a little place where we can put our slogan underneath it. Slogan will mean a lot when it comes down to our work, so that's what we have and do. And I say come across the top here, one little last place to do, and put it along and kind of make it so it's going to be smooth and flat up at the very top of the wing. I say this little angel is a great treasure to us, and seeing how we got kind, gracious souls as for what we have in need. Blessed little workamadoo, and see how it's all gonna be when we come out to it in the very end. See how well this is going to stand. Looks like it's going to stand just fine. And then there's probably other little steps along the way we'll take. We'll go down to a slightly thinner grit. The thinnest grit always waits until last, but we kind of do this just to kind of make sure we get it thinned out a little at a time before we go to carving out the features of the critter. With Buckeye being a fairly soft carvable wood, it's quite a reasonable thing to do. Kind of way to work about our little ways. We do a good little thing just to carve out the center of our work and see how it's coming to be. And these days, you know, you find out more and more. There's probably more guys who wear gloves to carve than there used to be for ages. And that's kind of how we work along this. And I'd say even for the ones who only carve the softer woods, I know some people who say that the only woods they carve are basswood and pine wood, because they might be the easier woods to carve, the best, safest, anything you say. But here's how we come up with two little blanks. Decide one thing, I'm going to try to go down to the thinnest grit I have now. Work a little ways up it a little more. Make it so it's going to kind of be a little brighter image to us, and see how little work shall make a way to us and brighten our days, and come down with a real thin piece for a good standing angel to come up in a good nativity scene. And as of all things, you know, it's always of all things I questioned as a kid, you know. They taught us in school that statues of gargoyles could keep evil spirits away. But I learned that's really not the way it is. You know, there's certain things you have to say based on the word to do it, and certain things they can stand and withstand. And I'd say with all things, you know, this is just one of those things where when I heard that gargoyles couldn't die, sometimes wondered if statues of angels could, but really learned there's really no statue of any kind that can do that, keep an evil spirit away. So we also know that angels are of good character to us. They mean a lot and say a lot to us. Anytime I wanted to, I could probably make little stables for the nativities, but that's going to be a little bit of a longer course of work to take. So I say we come up with these best we could. This might be a little all we'll do for this video, but do want to say that if you get the chance and it so interests you, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to this channel. I do appreciate you all coming on here and watching. Pray you'll kind of keep up with more videos, keep watching me, keep seeing what I do, and learn a little more from it as far as just how little work comes along with the facts and things we make, things we do, and things we love. And I will say that I will appreciate the fact that you'll always come around to see more, and take care, and I'll see you in the next video.